everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to Amorous. I got some cookies here, I got a drink over there. Cause I already know this game won't let me fucking read it. So what's the point? Anyways, we're gonna go with Dustin this time. Ba-ba. Oh my god, put a shirt on, god damn it! I told myself it had been long enough since the last date, regardless of how true that really was. Ring, ring, click. Hey, Jaybird. Sorry, was a little busy. Didn't take much for me to realize what was keeping him busy when I heard Veroth's voice over the phone. Hat your toy, Dust? Even just hearing his voice was enough to set me on edge. Dustin snarled back, and swiftly the call became little more than muffled shouts and doors being slammed. After a moment, I heard the phone being lifted again in Dustin's voice. Sorry about that. Var's being worse than usual about all this. At this point, I think I seriously need a vacation. Thinking you might want to come along too. There's this great little inlet not too far outside of town. It's more secluded than the main drag and less likely to be choked with tourists. Thought we could spend some time there. Yes, I'm very sure. I'm just gonna ask about Var. Wait, is Var still living with you? I thought he was already on his way out. It's complicated. Uncomplicated version? The short version is that he's bounced over 3 couches, including his dad's, and now he's back here. It's temporary and he's on the couch. It's gonna be the longest week of my damn life, so save me from sitting here between his boxes and let me take you out somewhere. Sounds great. I could use the time away from the house and the job hunt myself. Relaxing on a beach and soaking up sun sounds pretty good right now. It's a date then. Head over to my place when you get a chance and buzz me when you're there. Everything's good to go. I'll see you then. Sadly, he didn't get much of a goodbye before I heard Var's voice echoing in the background. I swear that bird makes claws on a chalkboard and sound pleasant. What would happen? Regardless, I needed to get my things together and head over. I'm gonna save right here. And I'm gonna load right here, just to see what would have happened if I chose something else. Keep on topic. Sounds great. Use the time away from the house. It's a date then. Head over to my place when you get a chance and buzz me when you're there. Things good to go. I'll see you then. Oh. Well, never mind then. Unless I'm very sure. Whatever. Regardless, I needed to get my things together and head over. Whee! A quick side trip later and I headed out of the suburbs and into the city. True, half of the city was a beach, but if Dustin knew a place that was more secluded, that would certainly be a treat. The parking lot below Dustin's apartment complex was packed solid with cars. It'd be impossible to figure out which one was his. Oh my god, there he is. Fortunately, Dustin strolled out of the elevator and waved me down. Hey Jaybird, glad you could make it. He walked up to me and gave me a brief hug, a smile beaming on his face. It's good to see you again. I'm really looking forward to relaxing and getting to know you a little better. His smile turned a little predatory as he glanced around the parking lot. But first, I've got a little game I wanted to play. It's called Guess Which One Is Mine? Fuck. How dare you make me guess which car is yours? As a measure. Ah! And I don't have my guide for this. Whatever. My brow furrowed and he laughed. It's just for fun. Which car do you think is mine? Kind of an odd game, I suppose, but I can humor him. I don't think he's the kind to drive a sports car. Commuter car, pickup truck. I think he'd be a SUV guy. A beefy Hunter green SUV was wedged in between 2 smaller cars, but it seemed to dominate its spot. That screams Dustin to me. Could it be that one? Heh, not really my scene, kid. Chugs gas and generally looks obnoxious out on the road. There's my baby right there. Motion to a pickup truck. God damn it! I'm going to get this right. Yes, I'm very sure. Pickup truck. Inconspicuously tucked away towards the back of the lot was an older powder blue pickup truck. It had seen better days, but there was something comfortable about it. It looked like something I could see him in. Maybe that one? Good call, kid. That's old reliable. Old reliable! Oh my god, the most generic name ever. The first car I ever bought with my own cash after I started at the cafe. Maybe you know me better than I thought. Ha ha! He must really like that pickup, considering the amount of work he's likely put into it. Still, it wasn't rickety or anything, just well-loved and long-lived. Toss your stuff in the back, kid. Stop calling me kid! It makes me uncomfortable. We should get going. It's a bit of a drive out to the beach. I nodded and set my bag in the bed of the truck. I'd noticed he had already loaded in a couple of folding chairs and a cooler as well as his own things. A black Okay, even if you're a really attractive guy, I would not want to see you in a Speedo. I don't care if you're really hot! That's disgusting. If you're a guy and you wear a Speedo, I'm disappointed in you. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. Especially if it's leopard print. Anyways, a black Speedo peeked out of the rucksack he tossed next to the cooler. Hop in, kid. The heavy doors of the truck slammed shut as the engine reluctantly revved to life. After a moment's hesitation, a cough of the engine, the truck lurched to life, and we were on our way! Whee! Despite a questionable roaring start, the truck's ride was remarkably smooth. Justin and I chatted about the little things, weather and the like, before settled into a more serious tone. I wanted to thank you for giving me a reason to get Var out the door quickly. I think I need this getaway badly. I know you dated that guy, but he gets on my nerves. I'm surprised he doesn't drive you crazy more often. Saying it's complicated would be an understatement. Vareth was special to you, wasn't he? Was. Now? We're to think about it that way. We've been on and off again more than a light switch, but somehow I always wound up right back where I started. You mean with him? More than that. Everything seemed to just settle back into the same routine. Work, dates, bills, even old Betsy here would seem to wind up with the same issues again. You named your truck? Old Betsy. Sounds like a rut. Sounds like you were stuck in a rut or something. I've had a little of that lately myself. Never quite felt that simple. You can bust yourself out of a rut. This, though, kind of felt like the world was selling around me and I didn't mind. Bothers me whenever I think about it, though. Still, yeah, Var was important to me. Now? I don't even know. I certainly don't think I'm that important to him. I got quiet for a moment. It never really occurred to me that Dustin would be aware of Var's manipulations, since it seemed he just went along with them. It made me think back to before I went to Amorous, that strange sort of hazy feeling I had at the start. I was in a rut, frustrated with the job hunt and going nowhere, but I still came back. I still turned to Kobe. What? 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 Maybe this is why you don't let me read it. 'Cause you know it's shit. I still turned to Kobe, dragging me out of it. What? Looks like we're in luck. No one else is out here, and there's plenty of parking right by the beach. We pulled to a stop and got out, grabbing our things from the bed of the truck and hiking down the narrow stairs to the sand below. I suppose it didn't matter what we had going on before now. The only thing that was worth thinking about was enjoying the sun, the surf, and the company. I thought you were going to say the waves, but whatever. Dustin wasn't kidding about the beach being secluded. Sheer cliffs of sandstone blocked off access from the main road, and the inlet looked like it had been carved out from an underground spout. Still, the sun was in just the right position to flood the tiny beach, and the waves were softly lapping at the shore. It was picturesque. Dustin started by folding out the chairs and tossing down a blanket over the sand. Settling the cooler in the middle, he set up a small beach umbrella towards the back before smiling over at me. There we go. Our own little slice of heaven. Speaking of which... put your clothes back on, please. I'm a chap. Dustin unceremoniously shucked off. I'm gonna just shuck off my shirt. Shucked off his shirt, tossing it over the back of one of the chairs. After a short stretch, he settled it in onto the blanket, leaving his chest exposed to the sun. Well, you had fun. Ah, man, I live for this. Nothing like the feel of warm sun on your fur. I know, right? You're such a house cat. Don't hog all that sun. I prefer some shade. We're such a house cat. You are such a cat stereotype, curling up in the sunbeam the first chance you get. No use denying my heritage. It's so good. So, how did you find this place? A secluded little cove like this should be a hot spot for everyone looking for a little privacy. Dustin squinted a little into the bright blue sky before rolling onto one side to face me. It was early on with Var, back when he just wanted to get away from everything. I was his major form of escape at the time. Escape from what? Seems like he was perfectly happy with where he was when I talked to him. Used to be. He wasn't that into money and getting stuff. I figure it was just his teenage rebellious phase spilling over. One day he shows up at my place in the middle of the night with a beach towel and a cooler of beer. Said his dad tried to set him up with someone from work for a date or something. So we hopped into my truck and just drove. He tossed back a couple of beers and snuggled up to me. When we passed near here, he saw the moonlight off of the waves and said we should stop. And, well, obviously we did. Stayed out until 1 a.m. just listening to the waves and drinking. We both didn't want to risk driving back, so we just slept on the beach and drove home after sunrise. Man, his dad was pissed. Doesn't sound like this... doesn't sound like the bar I saw. That doesn't sound at all like the arrogant parrot I met at your place. People change. I see it enough at work. I should have seen it at home too. Am I always going to be competing with that memory? Getting kinda heavy for a relaxing beach trip, aren't you, kid? It keeps coming up regardless. To be honest, I think we're both competing with that memory. Me seeing what Var is now and you coming in at the end of the train wreck was. But I'll tell you, it's different now. That routine isn't comfortable anymore and I'm ready for a new one. The waves washed away everything else for the moment. I knew my uncertainty was going to linger, or my uncertainty was going to linger. Knowing just how far back Var went, I couldn't help but remember his taunts. I'll dump you by the curb. For the moment, no matter what either of us went through, he was willing to share his. Laying in the sun near the surf, he wanted to take the time to be here with me. That's worth something. You got quiet there for a second, kid. Something on your mind? Nothing important. Nothing important. Just thinking. Just thinking about us, this whole situation and where it all might end up. I forgot how complicated dating can be sometimes. Heck, I forgot how complicated people can be. It's not easy, sure, but nothing worth doing is. Well, except for one thing. To my surprise, Dustin stood up from his blanket and moved over next to me. His paw ran softly along my shoulder and down the back of my neck as he leaned in close. Excuse me, what? Gently, his lips brushed my own as he pulled me towards him for a long, luxurious kiss. I could feel his strength wrapped around me and the tickle of his rough tongue against my... Well! I need a fucking drink. It was at this point I wished this was alcohol instead of just apple juice. Ugh. There was a tenderness, a warmth that radiated through the kiss. The sunbathing had left his fur achingly hot, and the rolling warmth of the breath left me slumped into his arms. Then the cool ocean breeze passed over my lips, the shock of separation from him pulling me back from my haze. His paw stroked my neck softly, his smile beaming down over me. That's a sorry, I died for a second there. This game is killing me. That's something Vareth and I never did here. A new memory that I'm enjoying greatly. I felt a chill rise from around me. Maybe it was the ocean, or maybe it was my nerves, but I pushed forward into that thick, furred warmth and buried my face in his mane. I take it that it was a good memory for you too, then. Oh! Should I be a little bit too honest here? Let's be a little too honest. Definitely for parts of me. Pulling back just a little, I grinned fiendishly up at him. For some parts of me, an extremely good memory. Haha! Straight to the point again, huh? Don't mind that. Well, as much as we might enjoy going further, getting sand in your skivvies makes it much less fun. Much as I wanted to disagree, the idea did sound rather chafy. Justin snuggled up next to me, watching the waves roll down along the shore and keeping an arm around my shoulders. It was a vastly different Tate and a different Dustin that I had done. Can I wait? I want to see what the other one was. Yes, I'm very sure. I mumbled and nodded, surrounded by silken fur that trapped me in waves of warmth. The scent filled my nostrils and left me dizzy. I continued to stroke my head and neck softly, stretching out to catch a few sunbeams more. So slung up to me, watching the waves roll down shoulders. It was a vastly different date and a different Dustin than I had first met. Felt more comfortable with him, less like I was just another one-night stand. We stayed out until just before sunset, the chill eventually getting too much for me and Dustin to bear. We should get going. It's only going to get colder at this point. Aw, you put your shirt on. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Aw, you put your shirt on. Why would I want to say that, though? I suppose I am getting a little chilly, though I hate to leave such a beautiful spot. Promise, this won't be the last time we come here, and next time, maybe I won't have work in the morning. Begrudgingly, I gathered up my things in the cooler as Dustin grabbed the blanket and umbrella. The warmth came back to use as we moved up the trail towards the truck, and I felt a little of that hazy, dreamy feeling from his embrace. Powering through, I tossed my bundle into the back of the truck and hopped back inside. Once the door shut, the truck roared to life immediately. My surprise was echoed on Dustin's face. Guess Betsy likes you too. We both chuckled as he pulled smoothly out of the parking lot and back onto the main road. The trip back was much lighter than the one over. Over? What? I was still riding on the high of that kiss, and Dustin's paw had found its way to mine, squeezing it firmly. We talked for a while longer, since he insisted on dropping me by my house instead of making me walk home. I want to see where you live anyway, just in case I want to drop by and say hi. That's not creepy at all. As we pulled up to the house, Dustin parked and the two of us walked to the front door. Nice place your parents have. Cozy but spacious. Not quite spacious enough that I get my own room, but my brother and I get along well enough. Heh. Well, I suppose this is where I should say goodnight. Don't want your dad to come out and kick my ass for bringing you home after curfew. I'm an adult, Dustin. Don't be a dick. He grinned at me and leaned in to kiss me on the cheek. Give me a call soon, kid. I don't like to be kept waiting for too long. That makes me uncomfortable. As I waved goodbye, I could feel eyes on me. Turning around, I drew in a deep sigh when I saw who it was. So, who is that? Suddenly I feel like it's going to be a long night. Hooray! We did it! Dustin likes us. That's an achievement for some reason. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode of Amorous. I'm stretching. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this and would like to see more of this game, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell. I just fucking hit my microphone, I'm sorry about that. And remember, die safely. Bye-bye.